When you feel like you're headed straight for a divorce, that's not the scary part. The scary part is seeing the cliff right in front of you and not even trying to check the map or hit the brakes, especially when fixing the situation is often much simpler than you've been led to believe. Let's be honest, when a marriage starts falling apart, both people are responsible. Yes, you heard me right, both. And if you feel a wave of protest rising up inside you right now, if you're unwilling to admit that, it might mean you've already stopped valuing this marriage. But what if we tried to analyze your relationship without the emotions and the finger pointing? I promise you, you'll find at least 3 pillars of support that you can influence right now, 3 levers that can bring back those times when everything was truly good. Right now, you're probably thinking, how can I change anything if he's eyeing a coworker or openly flirting on social media? Listen, a man isn't some complex machine, he's a human being. And believe me, he is capable of being so affectionate and devoted that you won't even recognize him in the best way possible. Men behave badly for a few specific reasons. They might seem cliché, and you think you know them all, but in reality, you're only seeing the tip of the iceberg. Those shallow generalizations like, they're all just like that. Yes, if he's flirting behind your back, it's wrong. It's disrespectful to you. But let's take a risk for a second and look at the situation through his eyes. What does he see? He comes home, exhausted from battling the outside world, only to drown in a gray, mundane routine. Grocery stores, to-do lists, and a wife who is just as tired as he is. Someone who doesn't give him a reason or even a hint to play. And intimacy? It's likely become just another boring chore on the schedule without a drop of variety. Sometimes, to make a man wake up, you just need to remind him that the person standing next to him is a desirable woman. I'm not talking about giving obvious hints or demanding attention. I'm talking about becoming that woman, truly believing it yourself and releasing your feminine energy from the cage you locked it in. This applies to what happens in your bedroom, too. Open up to each other. I guarantee that both of you have secret desires you've been shy about for years. But the moment you take that first step, the moment you create a safe space for those fantasies, trust me, he'll forget everyone else exists. He'll be racing home because he'll realize there are no more secrets. With you, he can explore things he'd be afraid to even mention to another woman. Because you are the one he built a life with. You are the one he trusts. You might want to push back right now and say, but I do flirt with him. But let's be honest, most of the time, that only happens in the bedroom, behind closed doors. And that is not actually what a man needs most. He needs to feel like a man all the time, not just under the covers. Your flirting needs to exist outside the bedroom. It should be that light, subtle spark in a regular grocery store while you're picking out dinner. It should be a look of genuine admiration on a Saturday morning when he's just taking care of things around the house. Believe me, this is critical for men. In those moments, it's like they can finally breathe again. They stand a little taller. Just start doing this, and you'll see that before long he'll become that guy you fell head over heels for all those years ago. The real him. Of course, everything inside you is probably screaming, why should I be the one to energize him? Why should I put in the effort if he's the one acting out? But listen, that's exactly what being a family is about. Helping each other. Anyone can lose their way. Anyone can stumble or get buried under the weight of routine. And it is a true blessing to have someone by your side who won't kick you while you're down, but will instead gently light the path back to the right way. Take that first step, and trust my experience. He won't let it go unnoticed. Once he feels that you believe in him as a man again, he'll want to move mountains for you. Now let's dig even deeper, to the places you've been afraid to look for years. We talked about flirting, but there's something more serious. Your hidden desires. Let's be real. After years of marriage, you know each other inside and out. Sex has likely turned into a mechanical ritual, but I guarantee you, he has scenarios in his head that he's terrified to even mention. And you have them too, but you both stay silent because you're afraid of judgment. You're afraid your partner will look at you and ask, what are you, some kind of pervert. And right here lies the biggest trap. If he can't explore his fantasies with you, the one he actually trusts, he will subconsciously start looking for that outlet elsewhere, not because that other woman is better, but because he doesn't feel ashamed to be himself with her. With her, there's no shared history, no mortgage, and no children to worry about. Your job is to break that barrier. Take the first step. Show him that in your home, there are no more forbidden topics. The moment you open that door, the moment you say, "I want to try this," what have you been dreaming about? His entire world will shift. Understand one thing: when a man finds a wife who isn't just the mother of his children and the manager of his household, but also an accomplice in his boldest fantasies, he is yours forever. He won't need that coworker or those random DMs anymore. Why would he? At home, he has a woman who knows the real him and accepts it. This creates a level of intimacy that no amount of routine can destroy. It's a pact. It's a secret shared between the two of you. Once you allow yourself to be his bad girl, he'll forget the way to anyone else. Because with you, he feels safe being raw, while with them, he's just playing a part. Become his whole world, and you will see him start racing home, terrified of missing even a single minute by your side.
Now let's hit on your biggest fear. You're terrified of losing him, so you try to be everywhere, in his phone, in his business, and in every single one of his free moments. You think your constant care, your endless questions like, "How are you?" and "Where are you?" is the glue holding your marriage together. But in reality, it's a noose. Remember this hard truth. A man will never value what he has in excess. If you're always right there, if you're always available, if you've turned into a comfortable piece of household furniture, you've stopped being the prize. You've become the background noise. Why is he flirting with others? Because over there, there's distance. There's a mystery. He isn't being eaten alive by domestic questions the second he walks through the door. But at home, he's met with either total control or total service. And both of them kill the hunter inside him. Do you want him to start chasing you again? Create a deficit of yourself. Stop being his unpaid therapist and his 24/7 concierge service. Get so busy with your own life that he starts wondering, what is she so caught up in that she didn't even ask what time I'd be home? This isn't about manipulation or playing the silent game. This is about reclaiming your value as an individual. When you step out of that suffocating "we," he finally has the space to actually miss you, to notice that the woman beside him is interesting, busy, and self-sufficient, not just an extension of his couch. Take a step back. Stop filling up his entire airwaves. Give him the chance to feel a hunger for your attention. Believe me, the moment he realizes you don't belong to him by default anymore, his instincts will kick in instantly. He will start seeking your gaze, your approval, and your time. Become the prize he has to win all over again, not the obligation he's forced to carry.
Now let's be real for a second. What do you actually look like when that front door closes and it's just the two of you? Look, I get it. You're exhausted. There's a mountain of dishes and you feel like he should love me no matter what. But let's take off the rose-colored glasses. Men are visual creatures. That is a biological fact you can't rewrite with self-help books. Why is it that when you meet your girlfriends at a cafe, you pick out your best dress, do your hair, and choose the perfect perfume? But for him, the man you share your life and your bed with, you're wearing a faded t-shirt and a messy bun? You are sending him a signal. You aren't worth the effort anymore. You're just a finished book that's been tossed into the corner. And don't give me the comfort excuse. Comfort is the silent killer of passion. When he sees you in home mode 24/7, his brain starts erasing the image of a desirable woman and replaces it with the image of a roommate, or even worse, a second mother. Do you want him to stop flirting with his coworkers? Give him a reason to flirt with you right there in the kitchen. Your look at home isn't about wearing stilettos and evening makeup. It's about the sexual energy you project. It's about how you move, how you smell, and the way you look at him through your lashes while you're simply pouring a cup of tea. Become a visual feast for him. Let him walk into the house and be stopped in his tracks by your new vibe. Let him see the woman he used to chase, not the exhausted version of you that's just waiting for the day to end so you can fall asleep. This isn't manipulation, it's an investment in his interest. Once you start dressing up and taking care of yourself for him instead of for strangers on the street, you'll see the look in his eyes change. He'll start viewing you as the prize again. Trust me, when he comes home to a well-groomed, glowing woman who radiates confidence and a little bit of a challenge, no coworker in any office can compete with that. You are his exclusive. Remind him of that. Now let's talk about the main poison that kills a man's desire to be near you, your constant criticism and dissatisfaction. You need to understand one thing. A man has a biological need to feel like a hero, even in the little things, especially within the walls of his own home. And it doesn't matter if you're 25 or 60. The core of male psychology doesn't change with age. At 20 or at 70, he wants to see admiration in his woman's eyes, not a never-ending list of grievances. If instead of "thank you, you're the best," he hears, "you bought the wrong thing again," "why are you so late," or "you always ruin everything," you are, with your own hands, performing a psychological castration on him. Why is he flirting with others? Because over there, they don't know him as the failure who forgot to cap the toothpaste. Over there, he's an interesting man, a professional, a hero. They smile at him just for holding the door open. He goes there for that hit of dopamine, for that validation of his worth. Do you think your criticism will make him better? No. It will only make him a stranger. Start changing your tactics. Right now, today. Find a reason to sincerely admire him, not with a casual "good job," but in a way that makes him stand a little taller. Did you notice how he solved a problem? Tell him. Did you see how sharp he looks in that shirt? Make sure he feels it. When a man receives recognition at home, he doesn't need to look for it elsewhere. When he knows he has a woman waiting for him who believes in him more than he believes in himself, he will move mountains to live up to that trust. Your age is your experience and your wisdom, not an excuse for nagging. Use that wisdom to shine a light on his strengths. Become that safe harbor for him, where he is always valued and wanted. Believe me, once he gets a taste of victory through your eyes, he'll forget all about those other women who just bat their eyelashes. Because your recognition is the most precious thing he has. Have you ever noticed that the moment you start talking about your grievances, a circuit breaker seems to go off in his head? His eyes glaze over, he nods, but he's not actually hearing you anymore. He's gone into total defense mode. Why? Because to a man, your complaints sound like a declaration of war. We tend to start sentences with phrases like, "you always," "you never," or "why did you act like that?" This is an attack. And to an attack, any healthy man has two reactions, either strike back or run away. Most often, they choose the second option, fleeing into silence, video games, or to that same coworker who is just easy to talk to. Stop turning every conversation into a battlefield. If you want him to actually hear you, change your weapon. Instead of pointing at his mistakes, start talking about how you feel. Instead of saying, "You're ignoring me," try, "I've really been missing your attention lately, and I'm feeling a bit lonely." Do you feel the difference? In the first case, you're accusing him. In the second, you're revealing your vulnerability. He'll put up a shield against accusations, but he is defenseless against your sincerity. Remember, your husband is not a mind reader. He isn't obligated to guess why you've been walking around with a doom and gloom look for 3 days. If you're hurting, say it directly, but without the venom in your voice. No jabs, no sarcasm. Your goal isn't to win the argument, it's to save the union. When you speak from a place of, "I'm struggling, help me," you give him a chance to step up as your protector. You give him the role of the savior, not the defendant. Try, just once, to drop the accusatory tone and replace it with an honest confession of your feelings. You'll be surprised how quickly he comes out of his shell. As soon as he realizes that at home, he won't be nagged for every misstep. but is instead invited into an equal dialogue, he'll start coming to you for advice and support. Become the person he can discuss anything with without fearing a low blow. That is the true foundation of a rock-solid marriage. Everything we've discussed today isn't just textbook advice. This is real life. And if you feel like it's too late to change things or reignite the spark at 50 or 60, I want you to see something. There's a short video on this channel about Michael. This is a man who lost his wife at 60, went through a period of absolute emptiness, and eventually found the strength to love again. It is a raw, heart-wrenching confession that will give you a profound understanding of how men actually feel and what they truly think. Go watch it. It will illuminate parts of the male heart that we didn't have time to cover today. Marriage isn't a static photograph. It's a living organism, and sometimes it needs a resuscitation that only you can provide. You are the heart of this union. Once you start projecting love, playfulness, and acceptance instead of control and old grudges, the world around you will begin to shift. Remember, a man always returns to the place where he is welcomed not as a debtor, but as a hero. If this video resonated with you, and if you found even one area where you're ready to take action, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Your support and every single comment help us keep creating these videos, diving into tough topics, and finding the path to happiness together. Write in the comments. Which of these steps feels the most difficult for you right now? Let's talk about it. You aren't alone, and your marriage is worth fighting for. I'll see you in the next episode. And remember, you are a desirable woman. Finally, just allow yourself to be her.